Hey, so I'm Cynthia, and I'm the host of the reality series CPS The Horror Stories. I am not an attorney or a social worker, just a mother who has experience with CPS as they kidnapped my kids a few years ago. After fighting for 2 years, I did get my kids back, and now I have this platform to just allow parents to be able to open up and share about their traumatic events that have happened with Child Protective Services. So do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell me where you're from, tell me how many kids you have, and what you do.
My name's Michael. Uh, I'm from North Carolina. I got two beautiful boys and a beautiful young lady. They're, let's see, now they're 17, 15, and 13 for the time being. She's getting ready to have a birthday, but I got mine back too.
That's awesome. Now, did you have to deal with the system when you were younger at all, or no?
No, never.
Okay. So tell me, how and why and when did CPS first enter your life?
It was after my divorce. I got custody of the kids, and everything was fine for about a year. Then the ex-wife started writing reports and doing things. They visited my house 68 times in a year. It was 2015.
How many times?
68.
69.
68.
58. 68? Wow.
Six.
Holy cow. Okay
Yeah.
then.
Well, part of it was my fault because I got angry. And I said, if you show up one more time, I said, somebody's going to get hurt. Next time, like, yeah. Then they took them from school and didn't tell me anything.
So who was calling each time? Do you happen to know?
I know.
Who was it?
Ex-wife. Ex-wife, her mother, and the CPS supervisor went to church together. It was planned from the beginning, but I didn't know it.
It always is.
Yeah, but I found out how to get all the paperwork. So,
Yep.
then I have to give it to you.
So tell me then, what were the phone calls? What was being said on the phone when they were calling?
When they were at CPS and my ex-wife were talking,
Yeah.
The thing that interested me the most is like 6 months before they took the children, they said, are we still on plan for you to take the children into your care? And I hadn't signed no agreement, no nothing. I said, what? And then at the end, they said, okay, it's happening within the next 2 weeks. I was like, what? And I literally got all of it.
So, okay, tell me again what she was calling on and saying.
Neglect, child neglect, domestic violence, no food in the house, anything she could think of. And none of it was founded. I wasn't even dating anybody at the time. So I don't know who I was abusing.
That's
I
crazy.
even busted their butt. I haven't had to.
That is crazy.
Well, they're teenagers now, so now they need a butt whooping. But
Well, yeah, they all do, don't they?
nah, baby girl's pretty good. The boys, though, I kind of wonder about them. Lord.
Yeah.
That's one of them, don't do what daddy did. Please, you're driving me nuts.
So, all right. So when when they would get these phone calls and stuff, did they show up at the house every time, or were they called?
Every single time.
All right. And being that it was basically the same phone call or reason, and you're able to prove, hey, look, I got food, my kids don't have any markings on them.
They got me one time for no smoke detectors because I was remodeling the house and I took them down to paint the ceiling. So they wrote that down. I was like, what?
No smoke detectors.
Yep.
Okay.
They had a fit over that.
Pretty petty reasons.
But they tried the no food thing, and I've got a huge freezer and then a side-by-side refrigerator. And I guarantee you right now I've got over 400 pounds of meat just in the freezer.
So when did you and Mom split?
2013.
And it sounds like to me maybe you made the decision to split with her.
No, she just took off. She got pitched a fit one night, went out the back door and left, and I've never seen her again. Wasn't a real fight or an argument. Not really. She threw a wine cooler bottle at me. And at the time, I ain't gonna lie about it, I had a beer in my hand, so I poured it on her. I was like, maybe that'll cool you down. She jumped in the car and took off.
Wow.
And never come back. Not one time. Well, she came back with a cop to get her stuff. And I was like, all right, well, whatever. Be quiet, Mom.
So did she, when you guys split, did she still have visitation with the kids or no?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I split that to every weekend because she'd take them to school, but she'd take them late. I had it at every other week, 50-50. But I kept getting calls from the school saying they was late. And I was like, well, that ain't me. They're with their mom right now.
Yeah.
So I picked up that. Guess who got in trouble for that?
You
Me.
did.
Yep, I did.
Gosh. All right. So when did they come and actually take the kids? Let's go to that day.
I can't remember the exact date, but I have a routine. I always took them in the mornings and let them ride the bus home because I hated the traffic.
Right.
Which wasn't a big deal. They got dropped off right in front of the house. Well, the bus went by and no kids. That's happened before. So I didn't think nothing of it. I was like, well, they'll turn around and come back.
Yeah.
They didn't. But they got dropped off around 3:25, somewhere around that time. I waited till 4 and called the school, and the teacher, the principal, said, I'm sorry to inform you, Mr. Jackson, but CPS come and took your kids. I was like, what? So needless to say, by the time I got off the phone, that office was closed. The next morning I called and found out I had an adjudication hearing, but they didn't know the date. Okay, fine. I waited for about 2 days, went to the courthouse, asked them about the hearing. It happened the day I called them.
So the day of your hearing, the day you call them is the day the hearing was set, but you were never even informed.
Yes. Nobody told me anything. I was really angry.
Yeah.
that ended up getting me locked up in a loony bin for a little while.
I'm sure it did.
I don't know. I threatened to do some things I shouldn't have, but I was hot.
So you call, they tell you, oh, it's today, or it was today, and you missed it.
Yes, exactly.
Where did they put the kids?
With the ex-wife's mother. But I didn't know that until now. Now I know it. I didn't know where they were for a year.
A year.
A year. I had no clue where they were. Wasn't allowed to make a phone call, nothing. And then when I finally did find out, and it all went back through court again, the other grandparents, I had call rights, and that was it. I could only visit them at DSS for 1 hour a day, 1 time a week. That was all. So what I'd do was get off work, come home, and cook them dinner, like I always did, and take it to them. Well, I'd call them, and, we'd just talk. And I said, well, maybe sooner or later I'll get to see you more. Everything will work out. And I can't wait to have you at the house one day and watch you play in the yard and do your thing. That got me in a world of trouble. They took my phone privileges. They said that I was telling the kids they were going to get to come home. No, that's not what I said. I said, I'd love to have you at home.
Okay.
So I couldn't call them. That nipped that in the bud. Then my oldest got smart, and he learned he could rogue people's cell phones at school and call me, because I haven't changed my number in 14 years.
Yeah.
And he'd call me, and he'd be like, Mom and her boyfriend are fighting. Call on. That's all I can tell you. I ain't calling.
So
Then,
when was your first court hearing that you were able to make it to?
6 months later.
And what happened at that?
No problem. But I could have made it to the first one if they'd have just told me.
Right. And they had no papers, right? No warrant papers. And what was the reasoning for the day they took them from school? What was that reasoning?
All it said was neglect, nothing more. The social worker had wrote on there, it was right around Christmas time when they took them. Close. And she wrote on the paperwork that there appeared to be burnt toys in the fire pit in my yard. And I do have a fire pit, a big one. Well, I ain't being mean, but instead of packing all that crap in my garbage bag and Christmas coming, they always get new toys. So whatever they broke, I just tell them, bag it up and throw it away. Get rid of it. Get rid of the broke crap, and I'll chunk it in the fire and pollute the world. All right.
Right.
And they used that. And I was like, I don't burn their toys. That's broke crap. Good Lord, heck. They've got, well, not anymore, but they had Wii's, PlayStations, Xboxes. They still got the PlayStations and the Xbox, another one. But you come in here right now, they've got tablets and laptops and more crap than I know how to mess with.
Right. So, all right, they take the kids. You can't go to the first court hearing because they never told you. tell me when you said you got arrested?
Yeah, I did.
Let's go over that. What happened? When?
They,
Why?
they called, because I called them and I said, look, it got under my last nerve with this court crap. I said, you lie every time I walk in there. I've never done a drug a day in my life. Somehow, I failed a drug test for an opioid. To be perfectly honest, I don't even know what an opioid is.
Do you now or no?
I never looked it up.
So an opiate is like a pain med, narcotic. Norco, Percocet, Darvocet,
Nope.
codeine. I think codeine is one of them. So were you on any type of medication?
They give me a something because I went to the hospital. I did something to my back. I'm trying to remember what it was called. It was John, but it wasn't none of them. It started with a D.
Was it in pain?
Yeah, but it started with a D. My sister took me. That's why I remember.
It was a D, like dog?
Yeah, it started with a D.
Was it like Darvocet?
No.
It was for pain?
Mm-hmm. Dilaudid. Took me a
That's
minute.
stronger than morphine.
I don't know, but I went to bed.
Yeah, of course you will. And how soon was that to your court hearing or whenever they tested you?
The court hearing was the very next week. Then they did I'd offered to take a drug test the whole time. And they said, well, we ain't done it yet. He don't do drugs because they knew I didn't. They didn't give me one and I passed it. They asked for a second one and I went that day, the very day of the court hearing, so 5 days after I got out of the hospital.
5 days and it was still in your system. That's interesting.
They did a hair test.
Oh, that's why.
I ain't got no hair. Oh, really?
Yeah. All right. Well, that's still explainable, though. All right.
Well, I had to go through parenting classes, anger management classes, something else, substance abuse classes, which that was a joke because I just sit there and eat. That's all I did. Hey, the guy always brought food. So that's cool. But I finished all of them, went to court 3 more times, and they said that I never turned in any of the paperwork. I've still got it. I gave it to them 3 times, and the last court date when they give my kids to my ex-wife, they said I never turned it in. I even had pictures and timestamps of where I turned it in. And they said I didn't.
So,
Yeah, I know. I smoke a lot.
no, you're fine. So, how long were you in jail?
Wasn't jail. It was a loony bin, basically.
And tell me again what happened.
I told them that if they ever showed up again at my house, this was after they took the kids, that I would literally hurt somebody. And they locked me up, sent me to a place called Fire Hospital.
So, how did they arrest you? How did you say that? Was it on the phone or in person?
On the phone.
All right. So then they sent a cop to your house. He said, power flickered. Give me just a minute. Okay, while we're waiting for him, for whoever is watching, I'd like people to give me some ideas of topics you'd want me to cover in videos that I do that are just of me, basically. Be very helpful. So also, I'm gonna be starting another series where my children are doing it and talking to other children. So if you have children and you want them, or they want to be interviewed and talk about what's happened to them, let us know. So that's good news. I'm reading your guys' comments. And whoa. Again, if you guys have topics that you want me to cover, anything, could be anything, let me know so that I can cover them. I've had a couple people, let me read you. Let's see here. Grieving for a child that is alive. That I think would be an amazing topic to talk about. And I will do some more research on that so I have like facts to go over. Another one is how to cooperate when nobody is cooperating with you. I think that's a good one too. So if you guys can give me some other topics. There you go.
All pretty again.
Perfect.
Yeah, right. I gotta wear a stake around my neck just to get the dog to play with me.
No.
Speaking of
All
which,
right. So where were we?
you was asking about when they locked me up.
Yes. That's crazy too that they locked you up for a reason that didn't even have any leg to stand on. Like you didn't say specifically what you were going to do, and that's crazy to me because do you know how many times I tried getting a restraining order against my ex-husband for threatening to kill me and all this stuff, and they wouldn't give me one because he didn't specifically tell me how he would do it.
What killed me was I didn't threaten to kill him. I just said I was gonna beat the it's about messed up. I was gonna beat somebody.
Yeah,
and don't come back to my house, leave me alone.
Yeah.
And I went to bed. It was probably 10 o'clock that night. 1 o'clock that morning, my door was shut. Wasn't locked. I never locked my doors. I do with kids here, but they wasn't here. And next thing I hear is 2 cops beating, and then I hear the door open. And they just walk right in. I'm like, wait a minute. Now you just broke and entered, you dummies.
Yeah. And did they have a warrant for doing that?
Yes, they did. They did. Sure did. Signed by a judge.
Okay, so they take you, they arrest you,
They
then
arrested me, took me to the hospital. They give me, what was it? Something to calm me down because I was mad again.
was it like Ativan or something?
That was it. Glad you said that. That's what it was.
All right, so they give you some Ativan.
I'm handcuffed to the bed. I can't move. I'm like, look, will you just let me up? I'm fine now.
And then
No. So then they unhandcuff me, get me out of bed, put my hands behind my back. I end up going 100 miles east. and get locked up for a little while.
All right. Now, while you were in there, how long were you in there?
About a month.
A month?
Yeah.
For saying you're gonna hurt them?
Yep.
Did they keep you on meds?
Yes, they did. I still take them to this day.
Okay. And then what? Did you do therapy and all that stuff while you were in there?
They made us talk, but I never talked. I'm not much of a people person, so to speak. I like doing home thing. I mean, I'm good around 3 or 4, but you get me in a crowd, I'm not happy.
Right.
So, whatever.
So then what?
About 3, 4 more months went by. I get a call from the ex-wife, and she's like, I can't deal with them. Will you take them for a couple of weeks? Because I got kicked out of my house. I was like, well, sure. Not a problem. 2 weeks went by, a month went by, then 3 months went by, and school started again. I was like, look, you got to do something. Well, I'll be there to get them. I'll be there. Never happened. So I enrolled them in school myself. And next thing I know, here we go with DSS again. And I ended up, I didn't want to fight them because I wasn't in the mood.
Right.
But I ended up giving custody to well, it wasn't custody, it was a parenting agreement, was what they called it, to my stepsister. And she kept them for another year. And then I finally brought them back home. They're good. They're really good kids. They're getting into a little bit of trouble right now. I won't lie about it. Teenage dumb crap. Some of it over and beyond. But I still love them, no matter what.
Of course, and it sounds like you're a good dad.
I try to.
How are they doing in school?
A lot better than they started off. I was homeschooling them, and I guess they need that people interaction. So I put all of them but baby girl back in school. She don't want to go. She likes it better at home.
Okay.
The boys don't like the school lunch. I know that.
The lunch?
Yeah, they won't eat it.
Now, are they struggling or suffering from anything because of the trauma that happened?
Yeah, they let their temper get the best of them. They get mad real easy. But I understand that. I just try to talk them down. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't.
How is your relationship with them?
It's good most of the time if they'll listen to me. Every once in a while they won't, and I have to deal with it.
And what about the relationship with the mom?
The oldest one's the only one that's seen her, as far as I know right now. And that wasn't for but about 5 minutes. I don't ask them questions because I don't like prying into that. I feel like I should.
Are they in counseling right now?
No, I couldn't get them to go if I wanted to.
Is it were they in counseling when the case was open?
Yes. They were.
They didn't like it?
No, they'll, now that I did ask about, and they said it was like they were putting answers in their mouth. That's what they told me. And I was like, well, you got to make your own decisions.
My kids, both of them, suffered and struggle and still to this day with anger because of everything?
Oh, they can get mad. Even the calmest one is probably Mitchell most of the time. But the oldest, boy, he'll get mad. I mean, he will, boy, it's almost like Asperger's. I know what that is.
Right.
And it's like, boy, calm down.
That
He
is,
ended up diagnosing me with PTSD, anxiety disorder.
yeah.
They said I was agoraphobic or something was the word. Where I don't like going out and seeing people.
Uh,
I think it's agoraphobic something.
Let me look it up really fast. Hold on.
And said I had harmful tendencies. No, I don't.
You have what?
Harmful tendencies, whatever that means. If they CPS will leave an open blanket on anything they can.
Yeah.
They'd cover the world with it if they could.
So, phobia of being around people, anthropophobia.
I don't know what that.
So, what are you on additional medications?
I take Depakote, something called Metropolol.
Depakote, isn't that for like seizures?
Apparently not. That's what they give me. I take it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's supposed to, to treat seizures or certain psychiatric conditions.
It calms me down enough.
That's awesome.
I don't like taking pills,
No.
but I'll take those.
Do you feel like the state offered you the assistance that you needed?
No, they hurt me worse than anybody. All I wanted to do was tell them my side of the story. That didn't work. I asked for a jury trial. Couldn't get it. They said you weren't allowed. What? Why? I'd rather be judged by 12 than put in my grave by 1.
Right.
But was it good for the kids? No. I literally, at the point in time they took them, they were on A.B. honor roll. I've still got their report cards. Now they're more A's, B's for baby girl. The boys are more C's and D's. And it's took me, this will be a year and 4 months now to get them back to where they are.
How long were they gone for?
3.5 years. Total. I could see them, but I couldn't influence them. I couldn't teach them.
They were gone for 3.5 years?
Yeah, so I could be wrong with my dates. I know Madison was just turning 10. I remember that.
Wow.
She was a little bitty thing. I got pictures. That's how I know.
You got what?
Pictures.
Pictures. So
I haven't took a picture of them since they've been back. Not one. Well, I have on my phone, but I don't post them. I don't save them. I don't put them up. I don't do a thing with them. I keep them on my phone for me.
wow.
And the real thing that bothers me is when she had them, I knew that her boyfriend, which same guy, at the time, he tried to beat up my oldest son 2 or 3 times. Well, he got older. Guess what happened?
Yeah.
He beat him up.
Right. Now, who did you say that when they got taken, where were they living?
Here. They were living here when they got taken.
But then where were they placed?
with ex-wife's grandmother, or ex-wife's mother, their grandmother.
And did they go through any type of abuse or anything when they were there?
A little bit, but nothing I can call horrible.
Right.
They yanked Mitchell out of the bed, threw his clothes up. Oh, sorry, I said a name, didn't mean to.
Well, it's all right because you have custody of your kids.
Yeah, but they yanked him out of the bed, just let him hit the floor, and then he got mad about it, so they threw all his clothes outside and made him sit on the porch, which I'd never do that. My door's open.
Yeah, that sounds like an immature.
It's a temper tantrum. That's all it is.
Yeah. But I'm saying, you said that they took all his clothes and threw him outside?
Yeah.
That doesn't even make sense.
Good Lord, that kid, I'm 5'8". I'm not tall. Mitchell's 6'2" now, and he's only 15.
Wow. It's going to be a tall boy.
Yeah, he's going to be a pain in my rumps, what he's going to be. Blonde hair, blue eyes, 6'2". Yeah, that's a problem.
So what would you tell people that are going through this?
Don't sign a piece of paper they hand you. Nothing. Do not. If they want a drug test, fine. Do it yourself.
Do you think your kids would want to talk about what they've gone through?
I'm sure they would. I'm sure they would.
Because I'm going to be adding an additional level of this show to where my kids basically do the interviews with other children that have gone through it.
I'm absolutely sure they would.
Well, maybe they can be
100%.
the first ones.
That's fine with me.
Okay, well, when do you want to schedule that?
Anytime. It's up to you.
We could do it today.
They're napping.
Huh?
They're napping.
Oh, well, how about let's schedule it for tomorrow?
Yeah, we can do that. Have to be after school.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
fine.
Rugrat.
Huh?
I said, hey, Rugrat.
Say hello. Hi.
You look like my son. Identical. They do. They can pass as twins. I swear.
Really?
Yes.
Come say hi. Who? This is Michael.
Hey, little bit. How are you doing, Pumpkin?
Good.
That's awesome.
We're okay.
Guess what? Tomorrow is going to be your first interview with this kids.
Really?
Yeah.
Because today one of my rats died, so I wrote him a song. I'm rapping.
One of your what died?
A rat. She had
Rat.
a pet rat.
They have
You're in my ear. Yeah. So, all right. Well, let's I'll have you message my assistant who you've been talking to,
Yes.
and let's get that set up.
For sure.
And I really appreciate you sharing your story. And is there anything that you feel we've missed that we didn't cover?
Not really. I mean, the best way to do it is caution. Don't let them instill fear in you, and don't quit fighting. Just keep. Patience is a virtue in something like this.
Yeah. Do you feel that there's anything you could have done differently? I mean, besides, huh?
Control my temper a little better and kept my mouth shut.
Yeah, besides that, though, I mean, as far as how they took the kids and everything, is there anything you feel you could have done differently
No, because I didn't know about any of it.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, hindsight. Now, looking back, do you feel there's anything you could have done different?
I would have moved immediately. As soon as I got the first piece of paper, I would have moved out of state. I would have.
Isn't it sad how extreme we have to go? I agree.
I've got a friend that did do it, and then they couldn't mess with him.
Wow.
And the bad thing, this will kill you. Same social worker, same exact one.
That's crazy.
And now he's got 6 kids because he remarried. And his kids ain't been completely great since. And we talked back and forth, and he said, you better move. He ended up in South Carolina. I didn't move. I was stubborn. I wanted to stay here. But I'm kind of anal because I've got fruit trees planted everywhere because I like for the kids to come home and just pick them and eat them. It's a summertime fun thing for me.
Wow.
And when they were gone, we used to grow a garden every year. We just did our first one again this year. So I tell you how long it's been. But it hurt my kids. Well, our kids. I shouldn't say mine because they ain't just mine. But it hurt them. It really did.
Yeah.
You know, take care of them little turkeys you got there and love them all you can because before you know it, they're going to grow up like mine have.
I appreciate it, and you're right, and I'm doing my best.
It's not easy. You know, CPS will age you 10 years, I'll tell you that.
Say it one more time.
I said CPS and all their hassles will make you age 10 years. The stress will literally kill you.
Now, did you say that they are trying to get back in your life again right now?
They're talking about it. The boys went dumb over, well, Matthew went crazy over a girl and decided he was going to run away. Well, he left and didn't tell me. So I called, of course. I don't know where the hell he is. And next thing I know, now they're involved. Now I got to supervise him 24/7, which I don't want to do. It was a fluke, so I'm trying to leave him alone. He's a good kid. He really is. Uh-oh, can't hear you.
Sorry. I was going to say, it's so hard when you've been involved in this, and it just changes everything. It changes everything in your life.
Hang on a minute. I say little. He ain't little. Hi, how's it going?
Hi, how are you?
Yeah.
I'm good, thank you. I was just talking to your dad about everything you guys have gone through with CPS.
I don't really like him too much.
Huh?
I said, yeah, I don't really like him too much.
Yeah, of course not. So I was wondering if you'd be interested tomorrow, you, me, maybe your siblings, and my kids all talk about what you went through, like your side.
I know.
That'd be awesome. So you'll be our first, like, under adult age interview done this way, because we're adding a new side of all of this.
All right.
Sound good?
That's fine with me.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited that you're down to do that.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right. Well, we'll set up a time for after school that we can do this. Sound good?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Well, it was so nice to meet you, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.
You too. You too.
Bye. See, good kid.
Yeah,
One of those.
sounds perfect. All right, Michael. Thank you for doing this, and we'll be talking tomorrow
No,
for
thank you for
sure.
all your work.
Huh?
And thank you for all your work. And don't give up. Nobody can give up.
Yep, agreed, and I appreciate all of that. All right. Well, like I said, message my assistant, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
You have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.